Want some candy?
I have come here to chew bubblegum and kick ass. And I'm all out of bubblegum.
Well, hello, Mr. Fancy Pants.
I hear you looking for candy, man, bitch.
Give me some sugar, baby. Like scary movies.
Want some candy?
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of Monster Candy Podcast. We are back once again. My name is Dominic Davy. I'm here with, as always, Screamin E.
Yo, what's up, bitches?
Otherwise known as the lead singer of the Memphis Murdermen. And once again, I am very excited that we are joined by Oobliette Sparks, my bandmate from the band Tsunami Bombers.
I'm back, like the present you never wanted.
I really regret the day they built in that reverb onto that microphone for you.
Hey,
Unfortunately,
what are you talking about? What are you talking about, Dominic? Man, this is some groovy stuff right here, baby.
he sounds like you fell into an oubliette.
A toilet.
Unfortunately, once again, Shotzi Blackheart is currently busy with WWE NXT, being a rock star wrestler.
I'm starting
So
to
not
think
really.
doesn't exist in the same realm.
Well,
Both show up at the same time. What could happen? Find out. Maybe it will.
What would be the equivalent of crossing the streams, E?
I mean, they could cross the streams.
I guess it's us still crossing the streams. Let's be honest. Yeah, I mean, one of these days we'll get her.
Albeit theirs would be a wider stream and probably not as controllable, but still crossing the streams.
Yeah.
Huh. Yes.
Yeah.
Well, that's one to grow on. Yeah, so one of these days we'll get her back. I'm sure she just posted a bunch of pictures. I don't know if this counts as horror news, but this is like host news. But she just posted a series of a photo shoot of being in a ball pit, but with a Freddy Krueger hand. So she was kind of doing the bathtub scenes with it.
She has been busy, so
yeah, it's looking cool.
Good for her.
Yeah, good for her. I'm glad she's wrestling. I'm glad she's wrestling. But we miss her. So, but thankfully, preventing this show from becoming just all crossing the stream sausage party all the time, Oobliette has come and rescued us with her opinions, her thoughts, her hopes, her dreams, and her judgment.
With a different kind of sausage.
Lots of judgment.
Lots of judgment. Today, we are talking about Motel Hell.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is we got stuff to say about this 1980 horror comedy. So,
Yes,
but first, it's time for.
But first,
horror news.
Horror news!
I have nothing. What do you guys have?
I have something really sad that I just found out about moments before we started recording this. Have you guys ever seen Kingdom of Spiders with William Shatner?
Yes. Oh my God, I saw that when I was a kid. Right? Well, how old is that movie?
He directed this movie. He was also in like so many cool old biker movies. He was Firewater and Satan's Sadists. John Bud Cardos, who is like a kind of a great in sort of horror and a lot of exploitation kind of in biker films, has just passed away.
Oh, that's too bad.
Paying their respects right now. But he had a great run, but and a huge amount of movies. Not only he directed, but he acted in. He kind of did everything. He worked in weird, different jobs in movies too. He worked on Memento and some other newer stuff. But It was sad news, but horror news.
That's unfortunate and actually really sad. I just looked him up while you were talking. He was 91 years old. And you're right. He's got an amazing like collection of parts. Deadwood 76, Hell's Angels on Wheels, Road Hustlers, Psych Out, Killers 3, Nightmare in Wax, Blood of Dracula's Castle, a bunch of 69, 68. He was real busy at the late 60s through the 70s. That's crazy. He was the Mexican farmer, uncredited, in the female bunch.
Oh, that guy.
Yeah, that guy. That's sad, though. That's unfortunate.
That's a bummer.
Man.
Yeah. But like I said, he had a really good run and a crazy history, and hopefully, the news will break and a bunch of people who might not have ever heard of him will look him up and start watching some really fun movies.
He, it doesn't, even his Wikipedia page does not state that he has passed. I will say, though, that according to this, he is which I'm going to go check out. I'm going to see if I can find this. Apparently, he's the subject of a 2016 biography called Action by actor Robert Dix and his wife, Lynette Dix. And they had all started together in the Satan Sadists.
That's cool. He did a lot of stunt work, too.
Yeah. That's cool. That's too bad he passed. I mean, it's always cool. Like, but, what a life, 1929 to 2021. It's a run.
Yeah. That's going to be like way longer run than I'll have. Way longer.
Well, that got dark.
No. That's good. I mean, probably good, I think.
Okay.
You can still have a full life and not hit 91, Dominic.
Yeah, that's true. Still. Okay.
Look, I'm not going anytime soon. I'm barely middle-aged. But nonetheless.
I don't know where you're going on, but okay. But true, I understand.
Well, if we find out some kind of way to live forever and not have our bodies completely break apart and be disgusting, then I'm all for it.
Well, don't worry. As soon as you start showing signs of weakness, I'll just plant you in my secret garden, and we'll just keep you there.
No, tying that into Motel Hell. That's very smart. Yep.
Yeah.
Smart.
Oh, thank you.
Not to be confused with the secret garden that you may have read when you were a child.
That's a different type of story altogether.
Yes.
What do you got, E? You got something?
I do have a little bit of something. Two things.
Ooh.
One, Grim Inc. Did you see anything about this?
Grim Inc? No.
Yes. Okay, so this is going to be a solo movie for the Grim Reaper from Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey.
Really?
Yes. It's not. I mean, I guess it's kind of spooky horror, not necessarily horror, but it's supposed to be a dark comedy. Let's see what it says. So apparently, it revolves around a secret multinational enterprise founded by Death 70 years ago. Because things were just getting too crazy, and he wanted to be more efficient at getting souls. So, he decided to start a company, and that's what it's going to focus on.
Interesting. Did you guys see the new one?
We did.
Did you like it?
Yes, we did.
Huh.
Okay. I didn't.
Everyone talked about how great it was, and then I got super sentimental, and so I didn't want to watch it because I thought I might cry, and then I was like, I'm going to watch it, and this is going to be great. Like, I don't know, the feeling when
I wouldn't go
you
that
watched.
far.
I thought it'd be the feeling like when you hear the Star Wars song, but then all of a sudden Jar Jar Binks pops up, and you're like, that happened to me with this. I was super excited, and actually the actresses that played their daughters, that the one does a lot of horror stuff, and I think she's funny, but I actually didn't finish the movie.
Samantha Weaving, is that her name? Or
Yeah, the one who did.
We discussed it, and it was, it was an adequate sequel to the second one. Wasn't anything great.
Samara Weaving.
Yeah, it was what to be expected, at least for me.
I totally became like one of those old timer like naturalists with it. I don't know. I was like, this isn't working. I can't watch it. And I think I made it, I don't know, 45 minutes in and turned it off and went to bed.
I'm gonna out myself. Oobliette, you remember that I have a thing when I don't like bands. And like we play with them and they're nice people and I don't like it. And they are like,
give them hugs and talk about how talented they are. And
I've always said, and I'm
start
ruining
nervously
it.
Drinking.
Yeah, I just say like, you guys look like you had a great time up there. Like that is you guys look like you're having a lot of fun.
Wait a minute. Do you know how many people say that to us all the time?
Yeah, they hate
like,
it.
You're like, how's the show? And they're like, you guys look like fun.
Yeah.
You're moving around and
nobody's
screaming.
ever going to believe Dominic again.
Yeah, no, I already have I think I have a new one in mind that I'll use. But like when I want to say something nice, like you guys look like you're having a lot of fun doing this. You know, it's like when I can't think of anything else.
You are so full of shit.
Oh, totally. But that's what I felt like when I watched this movie.
I mean that is full of shit. You are king of like politeness and schmoozing.
Yeah. That's one of my polite go-tos. I just feel like you guys look like you're having really fun. That's awesome.
I think you're selling yourself short. I think that you are pretty good at sometimes not being dishonest and just like the tiniest grain of sand sort of way.
Well, I've also learned that any band I talk shit about, inevitably we meet within like a year of me shit talking. So I don't shit talk anybody anymore. But like when I see something that I'm like, it was okay. I don't really have anything good to say about it. They're nice people. So I'm like, you guys look like you had fun up there. That's what I thought of this movie. When I thought of the new Bill and Ted, I saw it. I was like, well, they look like they're having a lot of fun.
I don't even think it was fun. I think it was just bullshit.
Yeah, I mean,
too quirky. I don't know. I guess I just
can't.
I remember saying that. Oh.
I was going to say, check out the episode we did on it.
Yeah, which episode was it?
Really
Though I said
that's E being like, change the fucking subject. We already talked about this. Listen to what we had to say.
That is what's going on.
Not go there.
Hey, we can talk about anything Bill and Ted.
No, I'm okay. I actually don't want to talk about it because I'm traumatized by that movie.
I will say that I said at the time.
My favorite ornament on my Christmas tree is the phone booth, and it says, "Be excellent to each other."
The biggest mistake they made, and I said this then, I'll say it now. The biggest mistake they made is trying to explain and show the song that united the world, because it'll never live up to that. It's better to look at these two idiots and go.
I didn't make it that far, I don't think.
Well, they've done it twice now. They did it with, they did the, when it was Kiss's song, and then it was in the second movie, and then it was this song. There was a song in this one, and I just was like, you know what? Nobody wants to know, because nobody
cared.
Yeah, it's better when there are two idiots that are going to somehow one day become amazing. I thought that was more humorous. But that would be episode 47. Bill and Ted Face the Music. We talked about that.
I'm never going to listen to it. So
But yeah, I think that was the case.
I'm kidding.
You're not going to listen.
I'll listen to it.
You're not going to.
You'd probably actually be more entertained by that episode than the actual movie. So
I 100% can tell you that I would. Because I was not entertained at all. I was hurt and angry, and then very, very tired, and then I had panic dreams about how the movie should have been.
It definitely could have gone in a different direction. But I mean, they look like they had a great time. And, how is that not fun to watch people have a good time with each other?
Well, I don't think it was fun at all, so that's how it's not fun. It's just not.
But yeah, Samara.
Very simple.
I really love her. Samara, even though I got her name wrong. Samara Weaving.
Same.
I love her in so many movies that she's awesome in. But her uncle is Hugo Weaving, which is how she got that role. Because Keanu Reeves was like, wait, you're related to Hugo? Like, that's her uncle. So they did The Matrix together. He was, he's Mr. Anderson.
I didn't realize that.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Like an Elrond.
Interesting.
Yeah, Ready or Not is amazing. The Babysitter is amazing. She's awesome.
I love The Babysitter. And then I just watched her in something else new. couple nights ago.
We never did The Babysitter. We should do The Babysitter.
The second Babysitter was good too.
Yeah, I haven't seen it yet. I need to see it.
Bella Thorne
not
is
seen that
full
one
on
yet.
Bella Thorne in that one.
Really?
She was Bella Thorne in the first one, but in the second one, she
She's
is
very-
Bella Thorne. Yeah.
The funny thing is, I know what you mean when you say that. I know what you mean.
Yeah.
Um,
But she was, damn it, I just watched something good with her like 2 nights ago and I can't think of it.
Bella
That's
Thorne or
how
Samara
much you
Weaving?
saw. Samara Weaving.
Samara.
Aren't they the
Weaving.
same
Not
person?
Bella.
She kind of has that look. The only bummer about Samara Weaving, and she's absolutely stunning. She's gorgeous and everything, but there's all those
She looks
actresses
like-
that look like each other.
Exactly like.
Margot
Oh.
Robbie and
No, she's got,
Kid
she has
King.
little beaver teeth though.
No, there was a meme going around
Yeah.
where it showed all these women and all these male actors who happen to look exactly like, and they put their pictures together and they're like, guess
Her-
which one it is?
Listen, it's
I don't
like
think she does.
if you took
Mayhem.
Jamie, wait, was it Jamie Presley?
Yeah.
Don't talk about her.
Okay, if you took her and it's like the movie Multiplicity with Michael Keaton, where he keeps trying to clone himself and they just keep getting a little more weird and different looking. It all starts with her. It all starts with Jamie Presley.
I
and
don't
they
think
start
so, because I
morphing.
think Margot Robbie's beautiful and I think Jamie Presley's super gross.
I just realized that Samara Weaving was in
Mayhem.
Ash versus the Evil
Just I
Dead.
just
I didn't
saw it.
realize she was in that.
Oh,
She
yeah.
played Heather for like a couple episodes.
Yeah, little
Really?
known fact, I was slapped by Jamie Presley. So
That's horror news.
Yes,
at a
let's
bar
talk about
called
this.
okay, at a bar called Krabby Kenny's in Huntington Beach, about 5 months after I quit Tsunami Bomb. I was sitting in the patio with somebody that I thought I was seeing, and it turns out that she had been seeing them for a while, and
Oh.
I got hit. He didn't get hit, I got hit. And I was so blindsided and had been drinking that I kind of blacked out. And when I got back up and came to, all I heard was that Jamie Presley had hit me. So I never actually saw her face to face or was able to hit her back. I just got hit from behind by somebody. So allegedly that's her. But I believe it because it was confirmed later they were actually dating.
I say we had a
And that isn't
deathmatch.
the reason I think she's gross. I just think she's gross anyway.
Yeah. Well, I
I
think
just added to it.
I don't think that she's the alpha clone for these girls. I just think she definitely has. She's one of the ones that has that look.
Well, she's the
She's
oldest.
weird.
Though.
Yeah, I like
what
Margot
I mean.
Robbie. I think Margot Robbie's amazing. She has that look. I think Samara Weaving. Those two are my favorite. Blonde.
Mara Weaving's super cute and chipmunky. Like,
Yeah.
To me, Margot looks like old Hollywood.
She's been in a bunch of stuff I didn't even realize that she was in, so I gotta pay
Mhm.
attention. Samara Weaving's been doing some work. I haven't seen Mayhem.
Yeah, it was Mayhem that I just watched the other night, which I had actually seen when it came out,
Mm.
and that I had forgotten about it and watched it again, but realized it was her.
Guns Akimbo, I haven't
She's
seen.
really good in that. She actually plays like a punk rocker in Mayhem.
I guess she's in Scarlet, and she's Scarlet in Snake Eyes, G.I. Joe Origins, which was a movie I did not know was happening.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
Anyway, I hope that works
Yeah.
out for her. Most of the G.I. Joe movies have been shit, and I collected them and loved them.
All
Any
of
other
them.
horror
I feel like
news?
I feel like is
Yes.
Jamie Presley still around? I feel like I made an email, like a cease and desist or something now.
Is she still around? I mean, I'm sure
I
she's still
mean-
alive.
I don't know.
Hey,
She probably has a
good
fucking walker
publicity.
now anyway. I'm sure she's in a wheelchair walker or something.
We'll take
Dementia.
all the publicity we can get. So
I can't even
let
find
her
it.
send
Great.
that letter.
Cool.
In fact,
Lawyers.
that's what we're going to title this episode. Oobliette gets
Let's
slapped by
not,
Jamie Presley.
let's not title it that.
I can't even find her on. Where is she?
Who, Jamie Presley?
Yeah, I'm trying to find her on IMDb while we're
Perhaps
talking.
she
Oh, here we
walked
go.
up behind someone and hit them and they fucking shot her. Maybe that's what happened and that's why you can't find her when you look her up.
Yeah, she's got the similar look, but she's a little more elfin. She's still around.
No, she's
she's
super
on Mom.
southern white trash.
Yeah, she's on
But
BoJack
as someone who was
Horseman.
born in Pensacola, I can say that.
That's our
Because-
word, not your
look,
word.
Yeah, Because listen, I identify 25% Southern white trash. So I can,
Well, she is
consider it
from Kinston,
Moon
North
Salt.
Carolina, so you're not
I
wrong.
know. Yeah.
No offense to our fans and friends in Kinston, North Carolina. What other horror news do we have other than slagging the great Emmy award-winning actress Jamie Presley?
So
I
there's going to
couldn't
be
say it with a straight face. She did win an Emmy.
a newfound George A. Romero movie. If you didn't hear about this, has been found. What 40 some odd years later? Was it?
Really?
Yes, the amusement park. So
Really?
they found that. Yes, it's not it's not necessarily a horror movie, but maybe like a anxiety type movie.
Okay.
Yeah, it has Lincoln Maisel from Martin in it, and he portrays this aging man who, you know, it always takes place obviously in an amusement park, but yeah, it just a guy finds himself kind of disoriented, increasingly isolated, you know, and kind of takes place in an amusement park, and we'll have to see what it is. But yeah, apparently it was completely, you know, filmed and made, and they found it in the archives. So now they remastered it. They're gonna release it in the summer and on Shudder.
Oh, well, now that I have a subscription to Shudder, take advantage of that.
I swear to God, that channel sponsors the show without giving us any money. We plug them so often.
Yeah, right. So yeah, you know, so that'll be cool. You know, getting old and then dealing with getting old and being all fucking discombobulated in the amusement park, and going on a bunch of rides and shit. So should be fun.
As soon as Mike goes flying, it's not a show. Yeah. It's not that kind of show yet.
Sorry. Yeah. Oh yeah.
It's like fucking Jamie Presley.
I'm not mad about it. I actually there's a couple
did not
times
mean
where
to trigger you with that.
No, there was a couple times we were like in the same circle, and I was like, I just want to say hello and kind of break the ice and be like, I'm the girl you slapped, but never happened. I don't stay mad about stuff like that. I understand. Fucking strangers, it's fine.
Doesn't sound like you're harboring any ill will.
No, I'm being serious. I'm just saying that I think those other girls are prettier than her. As far as her as a person, she's probably great.
All right.
And
spicy for some weird reason.
And takes cheap shots, but whatever.
Shaving cheap shot Presley.
Everything's fine. Everything's fine.
Well,
yeah. So
I can't wait for that rematch.
Yeah. So that should be cool.
That is cool. That is really cool.
Yeah, Jamie Presley, if you're still around, I challenge you to Jello wrestling. Show up.
You heard it here on Monster Candy Podcast.
I'm too old to pay anymore, but I'll wrestle you for Jello. With Jello, whatever. Yeah, great.
I'll get Jello to host it.
Yeah.
Jello.
We could donate the money to something good, you know? I'm sure there's something good to give money to. Lots of good things to give money to.
Yeah, there's plenty of things. People need money all the time.
Yeah.
Right. So we'll just let's give the money to somebody.
And that's horror news. Was that all the horror news? That seemed like a good place to start.
Yeah, that's plenty. Yep.
All right.
All good there. Let me get my papers in line.
An entertaining horror news to be sure. One of the things I hear most about our show is that when people listen to it, some of our fans scream at our podcast because they wish they could like insert opinions.
They're like, "You idiot!"
Yeah, like what are you talking about? And like they try, like they literally. I've been told that a few times that people are like trying to talk to things. So I'm sure we had Jamie Presley listening, going, "Oh no, there's a reason." Anyway, but
yeah, no, like I said, I'm gonna get.
I loved that podcast until.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of cheap shots, let's talk about
for all of you who love Bring It On. Sorry. Yeah, Motel Hell.
Motel Hell. Couple quick stats. came out in 1980, directed by Kevin Connor, starring Rory Calhoun, Nancy Parsons, and Neil Axelrod.
A little thing about Nancy Parsons.
Yeah,
that's who played Terry, right?
Yeah.
She was, if you watch the Blade Runner, like limited edition stuff with all the extended things, she read for Rachel, and she was like second in line to play Rachel.
Really? Wait.
Yes.
Interesting.
Nancy Parsons that's the girl, that's the woman who plays
or is that who played Ida?
Ida.
So Ida was Beulah Ballbricker in Porky's. Remember the?
Yeah.
Right. And she was in a bunch of stuff. She played a coach a lot in different movies. I don't know why.
So the blonde, the young woman who played Terry is the one who...
Yeah, the one who's like falling in love with Vincent through the whole movie.
Mm-hmm.
The younger one that's hanging out with them. So she was up for the Rachel role.
Well, let me tell you, her acting skills are on full effect as she turns on a pin in this movie to fall in love with Vincent. It's like the biggest leap. I like how he just sits down and speaks about the Lord's plan, and she goes from like, I'm just so like, I don't know what to think. I don't know what I'm doing here. My friend is dead, boyfriend, I think, or whatever is gone. He's buried. What the hell? And he goes, well, it's God's plan, and you're not really alone because you have yourself. Hey, that's right. Yeah, I like it here. And I'm like, wow. This is...
If for nothing else in this movie, fucking Wolfman Jack is in it.
Wolfman Jack is in it.
Yeah.
That's my big takeaway from this movie. At least Wolfman Jack's in it.
For those who might not know, real quick, the plot follows a farmer, butcher, hotel manager, and meat entrepreneur, Vincent Smith, who secretly traps travelers and harvests them for his human sausages and dry smoked meat, which is becoming somewhat famous in the area and everybody loves. It was supposed to be a serious horror movie, but
it could have been. It had potential. It definitely had potential.
It seemed like everybody involved knew that they were what they were involved with. I just kind of had like this agreement that we're just going to. We realize what we're in. So
there were some great actors in it.
There were
some great actors. To me, it was like if Mel Brooks directed the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, we would have Motel Hell.
Well, Tobe Hooper was in the very beginning making of Motel Hell, and then he went on to do other things. But it reminds me of the Texas Chainsaw Massacre too, a little bit, at least in tone.
I wondered
the chainsaw fight scene.
To me, I felt
the chainsaw fight.
I seriously felt like I'm willing to bet that Rob Zombie loves this movie because there are some serious.
Hey, all
notes.
You guys do is talk shit about Rob Zombie, so don't say that. But yeah,
no. But I mean, I'm not trying to talk shit, but like I see notes of him, like an influence onto the kind of stuff that he's into and what he's made. I actually feel that they're really harsh with him. But I wish I liked more of the movies more, but I consider myself a fan of Rob Zombie. I just don't love everything. But I will say I feel like when I was watching this again as an adult, like I saw this years ago, but when I was watching it now with my modern eyes, I was like, dude, I really think that this must be one of the movies that have influenced Rob Zombie's like horror and his point of view. Like I'm willing to bet he's got to mention this movie somewhere because it does have a lot of those like that kind of demented hey like he just cranked it to 10.
All the elements of making a good horror movie, like all the elements are there.
Yeah,
just the execution for me, I was like, ugh.
If they remade this movie, I would want Rob Zombie to direct it, like because I think he'd get it. I think he'd get it. He'd do a good job.
Dominic knows who that is with Wolfman.
Oh, wow.
So my dad and Wolfman Jack worked together for years.
That's awesome. She's showing us a picture on her phone of her father with Wolfman Jack, and that's pretty killer.
Hey, man, it's Wolfman Jack. Let's get this party started.
Yeah, so I didn't know about this movie that this is based on a true story.
So I just found out that today, and it's actually based on Carl Dinky is one of my favorite cannibals.
Yeah, like
because every girl should have a favorite cannibal.
I think every girl does,
right?
Or serial killer, and like every girl I know has at least like serial killer, criminal. What is with that? In our world, like all of the coolest women I know are like super into not fake horror like I'm into, like no real life fucking murder. Like
it's not even the cool ones, Dom. It's all of them. Every single one is like, oh, dude, I don't know what the fuck.
And why do you think women never get caught?
Right, dude.
Except for when they kill their husbands. Just saying.
What evil creatures. Ted Bundy, their fascination with Ted Bundy, like, oh my god, he's like hot. I mean, he's not.
I hated him.
He's not that. He's not even. He's like mildly attractive for like this, you know, the 70s, 80s, like maybe. But the Richard Ramirez shit, he was fucking gross. All the time.
Gross. Dude, and everything they talk about. They said he smelled like a barn animal all the time. In pictures, he was gross. The only time he looked passable was with huge sunglasses on and his cheekbones. And that was still gross.
My girlfriend is a walking murder encyclopedia. She knows about every crime. Like she's watched all the shows, all the documentaries, all the series, like everyone you can think of. She's seen all the episodes. We'll watch something she hasn't seen together and she'll be like, oh, I know all about this. Let me tell you. And like off the top of her head. And I'm like looking at her going, if I ever fuck up, Valerie knows how to kill me and get away with it. Because she's like, another level.
Every once in a while, my husband goes with me when I drive to Albany to get allergy shots. And I always have podcasts on. And yesterday, we were driving there and I was listening to a podcast about Chikatilo. And he just turns to me and is like, look, I can deal with this stuff, but you've already listened to 3 other podcasts telling the same story. Why are you still listening? Like, what is it? It's the same story. And I'm like, are you kidding? Each one has dug deeper, talked about different psychological problems he had and told different stories. It's a different story.
We watched one.
That's when you should have turned to him slowly and said,
just grabbed his neck.
This is for research.
Don't insult my podcast.
Research and pointers. Now leave me alone. All right.
But even in high school, I mean, mine's more of a psychology thing because I am obsessed with people's psyche. Like I never found any sort of attraction to it at all. Mine's more of like what would make someone do these things. So I kind of like delve deep into it to try to understand, what makes a monster.
I would think that's kind of Valerie's take, like from one of my conversations with her. Like she's not like attracted to these people, but she's fascinated by the concept of murder and how it evolved and these crimes, and she's fascinated by the process of them trying to solve it. But like we were watching one where they were interviewing the supposed murderer, and they were making this big stink about how she might be innocent, and Valerie was like, "Oh yeah, no, I remember this. This bitch totally did it. Like this is all wrong." And I'm like, "I just got here. Like I'm watching as it happens." And she's like, "Nah, she did it." But yeah, there's definitely a fascination with murder, and I don't know, Carl Denke. I didn't realize this is all based out of something that happened in Poland. I mean, the German serial killer cannibal.
Prussia. It was Prussia at the time, buddy.
Yeah.
He's the forgotten cannibal, Papa Dinky. This is like a whole thing. He was the cross bearer at his local church. Mm-hmm. The community called him Papa because he had a sausage factory or a meat factory, and he would.
Why do you think us Polacks love blood sausage so much?
And he would feed the poor. Well, his murders started with the poor. But here's the best part about Dinky. They've done all this research about him. Everything else, he kept a ledger of everybody he killed. But there was never any reason. No one found any reason. But when they finally, the 31st person, I know a lot about this, got away. Yeah. This isn't even in my notes. I just know about this guy. When the 31st person got away, he basically, told the cops or whoever the fuck is in Prussia and, whatever. And they found him out. And as they are like having him in a holding cell or whatever, they go to his place. And not only does he have this ledger, he has all the fucking bodies, but everything's cut up into little pieces. So there's like 6 elbows, 35 hands. They found 120 fucking toes. It was so weird that if you look online, you can, or listen to the podcast about him, they talk about the stuff they found in his house, but it wasn't like made into anything like Ed Gein or other stuff. It was just like around. Like under the couch, there was a whole bunch of fucking fingers, But he...
You never have
there's like tons of different
fingers,
stories. Yeah, there's tons of different stories about how he killed himself. He killed himself in the holding cell. But the most popular one was that he actually hung himself with like his own ligaments. Like he ripped something out of his body and hung himself.
It's dedication.
Yeah, and there's only one picture of him ever, and it's a picture of him dead after he hung himself.
Right. Yeah, I'm looking at
Papa
it.
Dinky.
They say
and I have no idea how that is the motivation of Motel Hell, other than the fact that it was said that possibly at his meat shop he sold humans, but there's no proof.
Yeah,
And
they
like
believe to sold the flesh
and nothing like that.
They say, I'm seeing here, it backs you up that his ledger says 31 names, including the man who escaped that got him caught, but the body parts suggest possibly 42 or more. That's crazy.
Yeah, and they were all homeless people and in need.
Who needs the homeless anyway?
So I think maybe that's what the Motel Hell thing, like he was feeding the homeless the sausages and then killing and eating the homeless he fed sausages to? Or meat? Wow. I don't know. If you really want to try to make it work, that's how you do it.
Yeah, I would do it.
He was doing the Lord's work. That's all. He was just doing the Lord's work.
Well, yeah, as you do.
So
if you're Papa Dinky.
So apparently that I didn't realize that had such an impact on this movie, which I guess it's loosely based on capturing people and transients and people passing through and then turning them into sausage and meat to serve to people.
Yes, with cardboard cows on the freeway.
Right.
Some of it was so like, what?
All I have to say is that Hesher van and the painting on it was just, I want that thing.
That's the other thing I loved about this movie. Ivan and the Terribles, the best fucking band name ever.
That was really hilarious.
And you know what? It's funny. Like, I know you guys don't love it as much as me, but this movie to me does tick all the boxes because not only is it it ticks all the boxes for an 80s film for me. Because not only is it silly and gory, it's really good at making the characters likable. I don't want to say likable, but I mean, at the Secret Garden or whatever, Ivan and the Terribles are there, and Vincent has that like psychedelic thing he makes them look at before they basically hang them and drag them out and kill them. It's like, just kill them, but instead he takes them on this whole trip and says all this ridiculous shit to make them feel like they're tripping balls before they just like.
Right.
But
I don't know.
How did he keep them alive for so long? Like
this is it.
He cuts their throats. He cuts their throats out.
No. He cuts their voice
cords.
He cuts their voice box and sews it back up.
Right.
While they're sitting there gurgling. I love that sound, by the way. Their gurgle. That was really cool. I like that. That was cool. It's hard to.
But harvesting the people for so long, I don't know. I mean, not that I couldn't.
He's got to feed them.
Yeah.
Right. Don't you remember the tagline?
Yes, but I don't know.
What, the tagline for his meat thing? This is it?
Say it. You want to say it. What is it?
I will not repeat that.
No, not the man's got to eat meat thing.
Man's got to eat.
Well, I got no problem saying that.
Meat's the meat. A man's got to eat.
Meat's the meat. Man's got to eat. It takes all kinds of critters to make Farmer Vincent's fritters.
Okay, that had no heart in it. at all,
sorry.
Dominic. You're reading it, and it's just a fail.
I'll try it. It takes
This
all
movie
kinds
is
of critters to make Farmer Vincent's fritters.
Yeehaw! There you
There you
go.
go.
You just might die laughing. Apparently, they didn't mention to anybody when they promoted this film that it was going to be a comedy at all or played for
I
laughs.
saw that, except for that line, because they
Yeah,
thought people wouldn't go see it if it was funny. They might actually go see it.
It was yeah, actually I think now we look at horror comedy with a lot more enjoyment. I'd like to see this movie. This is a movie that I think should be remade. Like, I think that there's so much, you could go a couple different directions, and I'd love to see it go. I would love to see a Tucker and Dale versus Evil or whatever version of this movie where they really camp it up and have fun and kind of I think there's room to do that with this. I'm surprised that hasn't happened yet. I'm honestly surprised.
There's been talks on and off for years. But yeah, I mean,
like
obviously the plot isn't great, but
yeah,
it got a 6.0 on IMDb, and I'm like, how? From 10,000 people.
Yeah.
Roger Ebert gave it 3 out of 4.
Bullshit. Really?
No,
Look that shit up, bitch. He did.
That's crazy.
No,
Why?
it's not.
But before you put too much weight into that, he also said that Amityville, the Possession, Amityville 2, the Possession, was better than the Amityville Horror. So let's just slow up on Roger.
Wait, I got
what's funny?
Ebert's quote.
Shudder actually says that in their description. So on Shudder, if you look at Amityville 2, it starts out saying the superior. And I read that like 2 nights ago. I was like, wait, what?
Yeah, okay.
I just rewatched it because I never watched it the whole way through, and I was like, what the fuck? It actually made me mad that I sat through it all because I wasn't quit. But that's a fucking terrible movie.
Okay. Roger Ebert gave it.
No, because I was about to rewatch it.
Roger Ebert gave it 3 out of 4 stars, writing, "What Motel Hell brings to this genre is the refreshing sound of laughter. This movie is disgusting, of course. It's impossible to satirize this material, I imagine, without presenting the subject matter that you're satirizing." So he was impressed with its comedy. Like, he was into horror comedy, which I granted at this time in film, there wasn't much.
Any, really.
No, there wasn't any. It didn't really kick up. I'd have to do some reading about what was like the first real big horror comedy. Because, like, at least in my life, the first one that I remember is Army of Darkness, Evil Dead 2.
Friday the 14th.
Evil Dead 2, probably.
I mean, trying to think of like what was being played for laughs and successfully played for laughs.
Yeah. Like real slapsticky.
I've never looked into that, but
I guess for me, like, I don't know, this movie's not only nostalgic, but I feel like after this time period, you get into those 90s films where they were more trying to focus on, I don't want to say pop culture, but it seems like every movie around them was about high school kids and, these crazy soundtracks with popular bands, and their attempt at comedy would really fall flat. Out of all of them, I think Scream did it the best. The rest were just, I mean, they're fun. But to me, I don't want to say they're throwaway movies, but they just all kind of seemed, they were just the same tone.
We talked about this.
Yeah.
We talked about this in the group. It real commercialized, like, all right, this is the thing that works. Whereas, I mean,
it's
okay,
like
you kind of
cookie
had
cutter
that
horror.
Right. You kind of had that in the 80s, but I don't know.
It was like the 80s, you had like the titty, like, bad kids in high school sort of thing.
But it seemed more like legit, like realistic.
Right.
As opposed to the 90s where it was like, we're going to make these sensational type of characters that are kind of real, but they're not really at all. And it's just, I don't know. I was not into it.
For the record, I just looked this up while we were talking. The very first horror comedy was 1948's Abbott and Costello Meet Frankenstein. And that was a success. That was what established, which is why they went on to encounter, so many and subsequent films. They'd go against Invisible Man, Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde, and the Mummy. They found that there was room for this, but it's always been hit or miss. And I know that this movie, it wasn't intended to be a comedy at first, but it seems like everybody figured out this is going to have to be silly.
Yeah, and I mean, honestly, it reminds me of stuff like Police Academy and Beverly Hills Cop and stuff like that. Obviously on a different scale, but they're silly. The premise isn't necessarily anything to write home about, but you had the weird almost love triangle going on where the sister's jealous of the new woman who comes in, but then the sheriff's trying to court the new woman, and it's silly. And then all of a sudden at the end, someone puts a fucking pig on their head and fights with a chainsaw.
That was epic.
Blondie deserved everything she got for sticking around.
The chainsaw battle was amazing. Did you guys? Oh,
the simplicity is what's great.
Did you guys know that the picture of this on Fangoria was one of the worst selling copies of Fangoria, and as such, it's one of the priciest and rarest Fangorias of the 80s. Issue number 9. Yeah.
Yeah, I tried to buy it.
How much is it?
Stupid. I don't know how much it is now. I tried to buy it as a teenager when eBay first came around, and I was like, whoop, no.
Yeah, it's way collectible. Yeah, it goes for $80 to $100 to get it. But it's cool though. I mean, still
now $80 or $100 is not what it was when I was a teenager. So maybe
true. It's a very collectible version, and it's that shot from that opening, like here he comes, here he presenting with that giant pig's head, which I guess also I never realized. I mean, Saw must have called back to that because this seems to be the first time that happened. I don't know of prior to 1980 anybody cutting off a pig's head and putting it on their head.
Well, they do that in one of the American Horror Stories too. Roanoke, I think.
Yeah.
This seems to be where that's from. But yeah, most of the cringe and eye roll that I had of this movie is I hate to blame it on Terry, but because I hate to go like this actress. But everybody else, I'm like, okay, this is really funny. But I think it's because of the direction she had. Like, I don't think she's doing a bad job with her character, but they're like,
she's supposed to annoy the crap out of you.
Yeah, it's kind of like her falling in love with Vince. I'm like, what? And then like it was the first moment was when he sat down. Like I said, I hate to focus on this one moment, but when he sat, like I was watching it and I was entertained. I was like, this is kind of funny. This is very cool. And then that scene where he's like, the Lord's plan. And she's like, you're right. I like it here. Fuck my dead boyfriend and my family. Right? I'm happy here.
But he wasn't dead.
No, it wasn't dead. I mean, she thought
that's
he was.
the thing.
Yeah.
I thought the best
we already buried him.
I thought the best
What do you mean you buried him already? Oh, that's what we do here.
Yeah, what was the best?
Like, oh, okay.
Oh, actually, so that's funny. So his grave says that he dies in the summer.
Mm-hmm.
But then at one point in that movie, when they trap someone, the girls are dressed in winter clothes and talk about like dating a skier. Big mistake.
Right.
But yeah. But no, her boyfriend is still alive, and that's the best part about it. But the funniest part was when she actually really decides she wants to be with Vincent, and she comes on to him, and he's like, "We got to be married." And it's just like a normal transition. They're like, "Okay, let's set up the wedding."
I'm trying to picture like hearing about my friends going on a road trip on a motorcycle, and then something happening, and one of them dying, and then I find out the girl married a farmer who found them, and like I'd be like, "What the fuck happened on this trip?"
I think it would depend on the friend.
Touche. I like the expression also that syphilis of the brain was also
yes. The sheriff says that about Vincent.
Yeah, his older brother.
You can't love him. He has syphilis of the brain.
Syphilis of the brain. Yeah, that was really hilarious. I don't know. I mean,
the execution wasn't there for me, man.
I think that's what makes it funny for me, because the execution is so awkward and dry, even though it has like some kind of accredited actors in it, and it just seems, I don't know.
I feel like this. Yeah.
It just makes me fucking laugh because it's so dumb.
I think this is Oobliette's dead heat. Like dead heat to you.
Yeah.
This is her dead heat. This is like Motel Hell is her dead heat.
Wait. Dead Heat is a fucking cinematic masterpiece.
It is not.
Probably the best movie ever
absolutely made. Is not any of those things.
I mean, Not even probably. 100%
I'm
the best movie.
so serious when
ever
I say
made.
that it really isn't.
I think they actually
This is
did
interesting.
I think it's data. Like, I think it's fact that it's the best movie ever made.
I don't know
And
about
Joe
that.
Piscopo is the best actor.
I wanted my
ever
life back
born.
after I watched that movie. And I kind of wanted my life back after this movie, but I'm enjoying the ride that you guys are putting me on through it with this podcast.
Yeah.
Because I would have
You
never
want
watched
your
Dead
life
Heat.
back after this? It's fun. It's just silly
It's fun. It's fun. Dead Heat was fun too.
And
Honestly,
listen, your girlfriend would make out with you during it, and that makes it a good movie.
she would. She would. She'd be into
The
it.
only, the only reason that it kind of bums me out is because there was actually like a legit cool story there. That I'm like,
Yeah.
if this was like a serious movie. Like, if they remake it, I think they need to do it as a straight horror movie, because there's a good plot. Like, aside from the fucking trippy,
I think they could go so
like,
many
one-
directions if they remade it.
I
Like,
mean,
they could do a black comedy. They could do a serious. They could make 2 different Motel Hells out of this movie, and both would be interesting to me. Because I think the
So-
story is interesting.
How would you cast it?
Ooh, who would I cast?
Ooh.
Bruce Campbell would be the farmer for sure.
Bruce Campbell could pull off the farmer.
But you wanted it to be serious.
Well, which version are we
Bruce
casting? Are we
Campbell.
casting comedy or serious?
No, remake.
Serious.
The serious remake.
A serious remake.
Mhm.
Hold on. What's that one dude in Rob Zombie's movies that he always
Otis?
uses? You know who I'm
No,
thinking
the
of.
other guy.
Is it Otis that we're talking about?
You're talking about the guy from Free from Hell and
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
let me. I could literally cast this movie from Three from Hell. To be quite honest, like
No. I mean, you could, but that's
no,
not-
totally. It would totally work. Come on.
I mean, Sherry Moon would be a good Terry because she's really good at being annoying yet keeping you looking at her.
I'm fucking telling you. I'm telling you. And Bill Moseley would be a great
Oh,
farmer.
man.
He'd
He
be
could
a great
what?
Vincent.
He could be a good farmer, or the other guy that was in Free from Hell and the 31 or whatever.
He's dead now.
Sherry Moon could play
Yeah, Captain
either.
No, not the grandfather. The other fucking the 3.
Oh, Tiny? Wait, who was the third?
No.
I didn't like Free from
I can't remember his name. He was in Free from Hell, 31. He was like the main bad guy in 31, I think. I can't.
Yeah, I know you're talking about.
Try and block it out of my
Richard Blake,
His name.
Jeff Daniels.
Yeah, but you know who would be better? Fuck the.
I think Sherry Moon Zombie, by the way,
Who's
could
the
play
sheriff?
either one of these parts. She could play the sister, or she could play Ida or Terry, either one, and would be able to pull both off. Point of fact. Are you thinking of
No, you know who'd do a good Ida?
Jeff Daniel Phillips? Who you guys I think are thinking of?
What the shit is her name?
Yeah.
The woman in WandaVision who's the witch. Not Scarlet Witch, but the
Dude.
other one.
Yeah, she's awesome. What's her
Yeah.
name? She'd do good. I think she's been after watching WandaVision. I've seen her in other things, but I realized
Everyone
that woman
talks
has
about
been
she's
underused.
underrated and amazing, but none of us can remember her name right now. So
Well,
there's a
because she
problem.
hasn't been used in enough things. Her name is Catherine Hahn.
She would be a good Ida.
Dude, I hope Hollywood is paying attention to WandaVision and that woman, because she has killed that series being that character. Her zaniness in each one, and then her ability to flip. I'm like, that woman has been underused, and she needs to be used in a ton of stuff.
Once you become a meme, go viral as a meme and in a good way. Like, oh, this character is fucking rad. Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Is she a meme?
But then
Yeah.
Ivan and the Terribles. Who should that be?
Ivan. What band? What, like, real life band that Ivan and the Terribles did?
I mean, Manowar would be excellent, but they would never do it.
She was winking. It's her winking is a meme. Okay, I get it.
Oh, I wonder if that band, The
Yeah.
Darkness, is still around. They could be Ivan and the Terribles.
By the way, I love
They're-
one last
they're
thing
still
on
around.
WandaVision. That it was Agatha all along. It's such a great
Yeah.
song. It's such a perfect
Great.
call back to Munsters and Addams Family. It was perfect.
Yeah.
Anyway,
No, that whole show was great.
yeah.
I mean, you guys might have been aware, but I think literally most of the world was unaware that fucking Scarlet Witch is an Olsen sister. Like,
Yeah, I knew that.
Yeah.
She's the younger Olsen
course.
sister. She's
Yeah.
younger than them.
yes,
Yeah.
the youngest one. I was
I
like,
don't know how people didn't catch on to that.
I didn't either. She's great.
yeah,
Catherine Hahn would be a great Ida, and Sherry Moon Zombie would be a great Terry, but you could also go with Samara Weaving.
Yes, I was just about to say.
We could put her as Terry.
Yeah. Fuck Rob Zombie. So Samara for Terry.
I mean, I'd still say Bill Moseley could do he's got that like terrible. He's got that like you're in the shit now, boy, kind of feel to him when his parts.
You know who would do good
But
at
someone
it
else.
too if you put a couple of gray hairs in? You're not gonna go with this, but Jason Sudeikis, whatever the fuck.
Oh,
Ted
yeah.
Lasso.
Really?
Age him
I
a
can
little
see
bit.
that.
Or as
I
the
can-
sheriff. No, he'd be the sheriff.
He'd
The
be
younger sheriff.
I just had somebody in my head that would do good in that part.
I think Jamie Presley would be the perfect actress.
For Terry, definitely. Definitely.
I
stand for
do like the idea of I don't know who would do it. You know who? What's his name?
Oh, Viggo Morrison could do a good farmer. I bet he could do a southern accent.
He'd do a good farmer. He's
I know
got
that's
another.
I know that's a reach, but you talk about a serious movie. Think of Eastern Promises Viggo as the farmer in Motel Hell.
That's what I'm thinking of because he's able to do
he's
those
like-
kind of.
He's like fucking people to show masculinity. It'd be great. We could just take this movie way farther.
You know who'd want to play the part is like Daniel Radcliffe or like Elijah Wood would want to play that part, even though
They're
they
way
still
too
look like
short,
little
both of
boyish.
them.
But
No,
they,
and they're too
you know,
short.
but the kind of parts they do, they'd want to play this part. Like that's
Come to Daddy was a pile of shit.
was it
Elijah Wood can't ever be in a movie again after that.
really? It's literally on my watch list. I haven't watched it yet, but
So,
I haven't.
funny story, I actually wrote him an angry letter after that movie. Like, I looked up his age in like a random email and just like wrote a drunken, very short, angry email about how disappointed I was in that movie.
oh my god, and that's the worst kind of things to get.
I
'cause
have
you're just like,
problems. I have problems.
Yeah.
Okay. I do.
I was hoping you actually wrote him a letter, like an angry letter. That would have been amazing.
Dear-
No, I
not an
did.
email.
But it was an angry
right?
email. Oh,
Mo-
yeah.
Motherfucker fucking stamped it with like wax or some shit,
Oh, I would have like spit on it as the stamp. I mean,
right?
threw the stamp down after a loogie on it and like rubbed it in my armpits. God, that movie was. Ugh. And of course, my husband is not a huge horror fan. I mean, he was back in the day, but the newer stuff he really doesn't like. So it's few and far between I can convince him to watch one with me. And of course, every time it's something like fucking, Mandy or Come to Daddy. And he just looks at me like, what the fuck is wrong with you? This is it. This is the last one.
Yeah.
And Come to Daddy was just, you guys watch it. Let's go ahead.
Dude,
You've got
Lance-
plenty of time to live. You're fine.
Lance Henriksen would be a good farmer if we were doing a serious role.
Lance Hendrickson?
Pumpkinhead.
Oh, yes.
Oh yeah, Lance Henderson would totally. He's getting pretty old though now. I mean, I don't know how old he is, but he's been around for a while.
Ted Danson.
Oh yeah, Ted Danson.
He's pretty old now too, though. He's a lot older than we think. He's like
He is,
90.
but like, I watched that Good Place show. I had never watched it while it was on, and then was looking for something to watch and watched it, not thinking I would like it. But he's a demon in that. I could totally see him being the farmer.
William Dafoe.
yeah.
I think I agree, but I think he would make it too zany.
Yeah, but it is kind of zany.
Sometimes.
Wait, I don't even know why we're debating Nicolas Cage.
Oh yeah,
yeah, well, you know.
true.
I mean,
Yep.
Oh,
Mr. I'm in every fucking like indie
That's
low
true.
budget horror movie.
And that would
from
be
now on and
Cage
stuff.
26 by the time it came out. So
that
yeah.
guy
Oh, my-
has been putting in work.
Without any lines, yes.
Yeah, he is forcing everyone to love him. It's not
I
even
think-
like, oh my god, he's a great actor. Like, he's just like, I'm gonna make every movie ever from here on out, and you're going to accept them, and it's.
I would be
working for a
willing
lot
to
of
make
people.
a bet in the last 5 years, no one has made as many movies as he has with the least amount of lines and so much screen time.
Probably right.
Are we going to do that other one?
But he found his niche. He found
guys-
his niche.
Yes,
You guys
yes,
both
we are
watch.
going to do. Willie's
Oh,
Wonderland.
You're gonna
Dominic,
make me watch it.
I have
Yes.
already downloaded all the songs and I've started memorizing them just to torment you. with them.
Shotzi has watched it as well, and we were all going.
Okay, if Shotzi's gonna be here and we'll do it, I'll watch it. I'll do it. I'll watch
Dude.
it. Because you guys have all watched it. You want to
Look.
do it? I'll watch it. I was just hoping I could hold off
And you
on
gotta
the
watch
Nicolas
something
Cage.
wicked.
Yeah, I'm really excited to watch that. That's on my list to watch. I've just been slammed with other work, but
Watch The Dark and the Wicked too. That's good.
That's
Yeah.
what I just
Shudder.
said. Sorry.
Let's
I keep
watch-
saying
let's
do
something
that.
Wicked. The
I'll
Dark
be
and
ready.
Wicked.
I'll be ready.
But
Okay.
yeah, I was talking to Oobliette. We were discussing Willy's Wonderland,
Mhm.
and I'm actually reinforcing this energy I already put out into the universe when we were discussing it. But I have to say it. I have a huge fear, probably irrational, maybe rational. We'll see. A huge fear that they're going to end up making either a remake of Evil Dead or something in that universe where Nicolas Cage is cast as Ash.
You said you wanted it to happen in one of your podcasts.
No. I
That's
do
why I
not
talked
want it
to you
to
about
happen.
it.
I
You
do
said
not
he'd be
want him
good
to
at
ever.
it.
No.
He would not. He would ruin it. And I think I put the energy out when we were discussing it.
You know he'd want to do it,
No.
but I don't think they'll do that. I
I
don't
brought
think
it
they'll give
up
him
because I was listening to Cage 3 or Cage 2 of your podcast, and
Right.
you said, I hate saying this and I don't want to say it, but he'd probably be a good Ash.
I don't know.
I don't
I'll
wanna
have to
see
go
him
back
as
and look
Ash.
at her nudes. Yeah,
You better
I don't
listen
want
to it because that's
Did
why I
you say
brought it up to you
nudes?
because I was like, why did you have
Look
to
at our
say it?
nudes.
Because now I'm thinking about it, and it's true.
Yeah, it's out there.
I don't want it to happen
I mean,
either,
he-
but it would happen. And
You know
probably
he'd
hated
want to do it. You know he'd want to do it.
Oh, yeah, that's his fucking MO. Fucking douche.
And he's
Okay,
putting in
I'll
so
watch
much
it.
work.
I'll watch it.
He's
I'll watch
putting in
it.
so much work that it's like almost inevitable.
But he's
something
like
that
literally,
happens.
he agrees to do something and it bankrolls it because you know you're going to make money off it. Like these horror movies, like Nicolas Cage is in it. They're like, okay, people are going to watch it. So he is single-handedly like making these movies happen, which I respect because he's doing some fucking wackadoo shit.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
good for him.
I mean, it's fine. Someone big, kind of big, has to do it, and I'm glad that.
Yeah, he's
someone
like,
does.
I'm the man in my generation.
I will say this, Dominic, you won't hate Willy's Wonderland. I'm
What's the-
confident you will not
That's
hate
What was the
accurate.
other one that he did? The kung fu sci-fi.
Oh, Jujitsu.
Oh, it's called.
Oh, I have
still haven't
not
been able
watched
to-
that yet.
I gotta watch that.
I haven't found
Every time
it.
I'm
I haven't
about
found
to,
it.
I'm like,
Where'd you find it? Is it on?
I found it in a particular place that Oobliette has
Yeah.
access to
Oh.
as well.
yeah.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Yes.
Sorry.
All right. Well, okay. Well, we're at that point, guys.
So we gotta talk about candy corn or whatever.
Yeah.
Right?
The zombie candy corn thing we do. How many Oobliette? How many cute, cuddly, monstrous zombie candy corns do you give this movie?
666 beautiful zombie candy corns of cotton candy fun.
Wow.
Hmm.
This is totally her dead heat. This
Okay,
is her dead heat.
listen.
No, that's
listen.
awesome. It's just a
Legit-
movie you love. You
Legit,
love.
it's out of 5, right?
Yeah.
So like, 3.5, 4. But
Right.
for it being like what it's supposed to be and delivering what I feel it is, something that I would like to drink some alcohol, eat some fucking delicious chocolate and snacks on my couch, possibly make out with my husband or my dogs, and like just have fun and not worry if I miss part of it because you come back and it's still fun. Like it delivers. And a lot of stuff like that is shaky cam or shitty and doesn't. This does.
I will give you that. You can definitely put this on in the background and not, pay attention to it. Be like, oh yeah, and have it on there and be like, okay, yeah, I get
And
it.
you'll laugh. Like it's stupid funny. Bad funny.
It's something, that's for sure.
It's
Dominic, what are you going
funny. And the comedic
I'm-
timing is actually good. If you watch,
feel
like,
you.
if you pay attention, the comedic timing is really off-putting, which makes it funny for me because I like awkward shit.
Yeah. All right. No, I'm digging it. You want mine?
Yes.
Maybe.
I'm gonna go with 2. I'm gonna go with 2 zombie candy corns.
That's fucking horse shit.
No,
That's
it's not.
horse
I
shit,
mean,
and you
it's
take
not.
it back.
I enjoyed it.
We've
But-
been friends since 1996. This is a fucking arrow through my heart.
No. I mean, I'm not saying it's trash. It's just 2. I mean, I don't think it's like I'm just not
You
in love
wanted
with it.
to give
Like
Bly Manor 4.
and I gave it a 3.
Exactly.
Yeah, this one.
Fucking
I
whacked out.
mean, 2,
brain.
2.5.
I'm talking to Valerie about this.
Go ahead. She actually, when I told her what episode we're doing, she was like, "I've seen that one." And she got all excited.
Yeah, did she
2.
get excited about Bly Manor? No.
Probably not. I don't think she could sit through it. She's not. She doesn't have the attention span right now for that. Yeah, 2.5. I like it. I did enjoy watching it. I enjoyed watching it again. It makes my 2.5 makes it sound like I'm not recommending it, but I am. I think everyone should watch it. So
At first, I felt bad that I did more research than you, so I won this episode as far as horror news and research. But
You
now I
did
don't
win.
feel bad.
Yeah.
And next time, if you invite me back, I'm just gonna fucking crush you.
Yeah, that's
Keep those 2 candy corns.
another thing that I have noticed about some women that I know is the competitiveness, which they all have, and everything is a competition. She won this episode.
she won. I would say that Oobliette won this episode. Yes, I would agree.
Yeah, isn't
So-
that what you're supposed to do with these
She
things?
came with notes.
Yeah.
She came with notes.
Yeah. So before I give my rating,
At
let's-
your
let's-
at
my
the
peril.
risk of, your peril taking care of business. Good luck.
Let's just review that. Generally, it seems that women have a obsession with
Using this platform to talk about women. Go on.
Yes,
With-
what do
with-
women do?
with murder and competition.
and as a subcategory, cannibalism.
And see, yeah, well, yeah.
Mhm.
So you're evil. Anyway,
No.
Wow.
I just want to understand it, so I can win.
that's so I can win at the game of life because my enemies will all be crushed beneath, and I will
Yeah.
devour their souls.
Amazing.
It's
I
so
get it.
if I'm ever like kidnapped or whatever, and the guy's either a serial killer or potentially a cannibal, I psychologically know how to act and know what to do to fucking get out of that situation and be the survivor.
Whatever you need to tell yourself about potentially murdering someone is.
And I definitely have not killed and eaten 49 and a half people.
Okay. I might have had a seizure. Did you say how many candy corns that this movie is? E?
No, not
Good.
yet.
Mm-mm. 49 and a half.
How many are you giving it,
Not-
coward?
Not quite. I was two cannibalistic zombie barbecue making candy corns. For some of the reasons you mentioned, Dom. I think people should see it because there is some good stuff in it, but it is not my favorite. It is not something that I would necessarily be like, oh, you know what? I need to watch a good movie.
Oobliette just held up a sign that says, "I hate Elvis," with an arrow that says, "He sucks."
Hey,
Okay.
we
That
all
means
can't have amazing opinions. Like
that
me.
means that this averages out to a solid 3 from Monster Candy Podcast, which is a solid good score. So that's our average.
Yeah, that's a
Good
nice
three.
way of putting it. More notes.
The worst taking care of butts. I think Oobliette is refusing to speak for the rest of this episode and is writing notes objecting to the scoring.
And so for those of you who can't see, so I'm wearing a TCB shirt, and so she holds up. So it now stands for not taking care of business in a flash, but taking care of butts. So
Stop
I
putting
won't
words in my mouth.
accurate.
Taking care of butts.
I
Well,
would
hey.
never. I don't know. I was silently waiting to hear everybody's opinion, and I didn't do that.
ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for listening to Monster Candy Podcast.
You know what? Maybe a 1.5. Maybe 1.5.
I think that the only
Go
reason
ahead and drop it. You know what? Go drop it to 0, because honestly, I don't really think you pled your case, and I don't think anyone listening to this is going to believe your take on it. So
I think that if either E or I are able to survive this episode, it is because of the distance between us that keeps us safe from Oobliette's knowledge of serial killers and crime. But
competitive.
I do think that you could take away from this episode that there are some solid opinions that you guys should all check out this movie if you haven't checked it out before. It's worthy of your time. It's just interesting. It's going to be interesting to see what you all think of it. I mean, I got yelled at one time for recommending a movie that I really enjoyed, The Beach, and everybody was like, "This is a pile of shit."
Oh my God. Who did you tell to watch that?
The horror movie in Shudder, The Beach. Is that what it's called?
Yes.
It's
Oh,
not The
maybe
Beach.
you're talking about The Beach House.
Oh, Beach House. Yeah, I
Beach
like
House.
that. Yeah.
The Beach
House.
is a totally different movie.
No, not
I didn't
The
watch
Beach.
The Beach House, but I've heard mixed reviews.
Yeah, I liked it.
Motel Hell, go in to expect seeing some 80s fun, a crazy Hesh Rocker van.
Yeah.
You know, don't expect it to be great, which I honestly don't going into old horror movies.
No, I and I think you that's the way to go. So
For sure, it is an 80s movie, 100%. And when you think about what
Yeah.
an 80s movie is,
Exactly.
Anyway, thank you
Don't
guys
be a
all
nerd
for
and
listening.
trying to look something up again.
Yeah, I'm
thank
like
you.
looking, but thank you all. Oobliette, thank you again for being on the Monster
Oh,
Candy
I'm
podcast.
never getting invited back now.
No, you are always, you're in now. You're one of us. You are one of us. I'm not even going to put guest host anymore. Like, you're a host. You're in it.
Taking care of butts.
Taking care of butts every episode. Ladies and gentlemen, we are Monster Candy Podcast. Thank you so much for listening. Check out Motel Hell. And we will see you next time. Or don't. And we will see you next time because we got a lot of good episodes coming. We have a list of movies, including
So
with
many
God,
movies. It's like crazy.
damn it, Nicolas Cage. I have to watch
We
more
have no
Nicolas Cage.
lives. Jesus.
More movies coming, more discussions. Definitely come back and check out our episodes. Thank you so much.
thank all you candy killers. Thank you.
Taking care of
Meat's a
butts.
meat. A man gotta eat.
You've been listening to Monster Candy Podcast. Want to find out more about the show? Find us on the web at monstercandypodcast.com. You can also find us on Facebook and Instagram by searching Monster Candy Podcast. And you can find our Twitter at MonsterCNDYPC. Hey, we couldn't fit the whole name. What do you want from us? Let us know what you think of the show and if we're right or if we're wrong or what you want us to tackle next. We want to hear from you. Well, Shotzi and I do, but I can promise that E doesn't really care. To find out more about Shotzi Blackheart and her professional wrestling, follow her Twitter at Shotzi Black or her Instagram at Shotzi Blackheart. You can follow Screamin E's band, the Memphis Murder Men, on Facebook at TMMM official page or his Instagram at Screamin E. That's screaming with no G, add the E. For me, Dominic Davy, you can find my artwork at dominicdavy.com, my band Tsunami Bomb at tsunamibomb.net, and you can hear my other podcast, 3 Gigs, at 3gigspodcast.com, or on the same platform you're hearing this podcast. Thank you so much for tuning in. We'll see you next time on Monster Candy Podcast.
peanuts.